Alright, welcome back. This is Decision Games, Campaigns in Europe, Volume 1. Drive on Leningrad, covering Army Group North of Barbarossa on the Russian front, 1941, June 22nd. And we are going to finish out the first turn here with the Soviets. And then the Germans, for their part, you do see they've, well, pretty much destroyed or pinned down all the Russian screening forces here in the north. Now, the limiting factor we're finding with this game is supply. It's got a rather, I wouldn't say intricate, but involved supply system, so got to be aware of that. Luckily for the Russians, that prevents the Germans from just running rampant. But as we start the Russian turn, there are some Russian special rules we have to take into effect that are going to impact this. From the book, and I'm kind of using AI here to Google Gemini to summarize the rules. It seems to be working okay. Soviet units begin friendly movement phase and German ZOC cannot move. That means all these guys can't move. Now this guy could move, but he's probably going to stay in Riga. The big two that could move are these two mech, looks like cores. They have 3 mech cores. They can't be rebuilt because I think later the Soviets, this mech core ID didn't really work, and they didn't reorganize that way going forward. But first off, can't move any of these guys. Can't expend refit points. Can't do combat support or build anything. Rules 1d6 for rail capacity, which we'll do in a second, and Axis units in Finland cannot enter the Soviet Union. So the only real requirement, I have to look for the rules for this, are basically Soviets have to at least keep the Finnish border screened with ZOCs, which is what we have here. So this is pretty much a standoff. So again, we're going to try and pull reinforcements from here. The Germans, anticipating that, went ahead and did an interdict here. And one of the effects of interdiction is you can't do strategic rail movement if you start there. Okay. What accurate this is. Effects of interdiction on movement. Let's see. I didn't give it as much as I should have. I should have said what are the effects of interdiction is on a strategic rail, but units cannot begin, there it is, strategic rail movement in an enemy air interdiction zone. Good job. So it's still doing a good job. I could have asked for the rules reference, but that was why they placed it there, so these guys cannot entrain. And again, they were limited by the 1d6. So we're going to go right into the Russian turn here. Yeah, and it's reinforcements, replacements, and there are none. I think I have a setup charts. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's see, Soviet setup card. Yeah, there we go. There, and the first reinforcements are in July, and then we roll for delay through the month, so there's nothing coming. They can't expend RPs, they can't rebuild anything. That's pretty much it, they're done. Then it's sequence declaration. And honestly, I don't think the Russians are attacking here, because the Russians here are also out of supply. Yep, we got it right there. That breaks his supply, and definitely the Brandenburgers. So that would be detrimental. I mean, if we did attack, all it would be doing is serving the German purpose of eliminating this unit. And it could only 5, so I don't know, just out of curiosity, 1-to-1. Yeah, that would be 1-to-1, then it would shift for the forest down to, and shift 1L for the forest, and 1L for being out of supply, and 1 more L because the German is in supply. So we would be down 3 L's off 1-to-1. I definitely don't want to do that. I gotta set this to make it bigger. 3 L's off 1-to-1. And it would be on this table. 1, 2. It would be off the chart. So, no reason to attack. So it really doesn't matter. Then you go to the move. And again, this guy, he can't move. The only thing I'd ask is, do I rail? This guy could move down here to get a ZOC screening and then roll the mech unit into Riga. Or I could put the mech unit here. See, what I want to do is see if I can protect this supply line. And even then you can't really do it, because even if I put the mech unit here, they'd still be able to, no, there you could do an overland and come over here as a depot. No, on depot, wow. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, this is rather interesting. Figuring out the new supply rules here. Yeah, if I put a unit here, then a German could move there, would put ZOC here, which can cut the functional RR for the supply depot. Everybody's out of supply, so somebody has to go here. So let's see, and I can only rail one unit. I mean, I can go ahead and roll 1d6 for 6. Too bad they don't have 6 units to rail. Well, that's not true. Maybe they could move these guys here. Let me look at that. Nope, they're not on a rail. Well, that guy's on a rail hex. So he could move. I can move both these guys here. So I've got 2 guys I can rail, and they can go all the appropriate hexes. So let's do this. I could rail them into Riga. Let's see. Okay. So that guy can move there. And then I would rail this guy up and around to here, I think. Yeah, and then I got a 1-2 I can rail. This guy. Let me just grab him and see where it makes sense. He could go here. Or he could go here. I like that idea better. Strengthen Riga. So we've got a basic kind of defensive line here to slow the Germans down. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all the Russians can do. Looking up here, oh well, let's see. Now the other things they can do is they can move, just checking, he has to go through Leningrad. He can move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can move here. Or he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, I don't know what difference it makes if he rails up or down. And I don't think Germans are really threatening here yet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. It could go either way. Well, and he's going to rail. But that's still, yeah. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put him here. And this guy can't rail. But we will move him here at least to see if he rails another time. Yeah, he was in supply, so he can do that. He can do that. Those guys were in supply. This depot's the only thing keeping them in supply. So I think, and then what else can we move? We can move this guy, which then asks the question of, is he in supply? He may be in supply. He's on a port. I think that's what does it for him. Here, let's ask. Can a unit use it? Let's see what it says. Okay. Yes, the unit can use a friendly to provide a supply source. See if we can train a line of supply along the path of all CiE coastal hexes of any length to a friendly port that can trace a rail to a designated supply port hex. Can only supply friendly units stacked in the port hex. So once he moves, he's out of supply. Okay. Let's leave him there. Maybe I'll rail him next. Well, I could rail him now. Let's see. Then I'd be getting all my ducks in a row here. He's got zone of control. I'm not too worried about down here. It's up here. Let's rail him to here. There we go. I rolled a 6. And this guy's trapped. He's in supply. He's on a port. Or I could evacuate it, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I think that's it for the Soviet move. They don't get a mech phase, special rule. I think that's a doctrine rule. What is Soviet rules? What are bad English? Let's see what happens here. Soviet doctrine rules dictate a Soviet player cannot conduct a mech phase, and Soviet mech units may only use the mobile CRT starting with that turn. Soviet stacking in Leningrad hex limited to 4 units. Okay. So yeah, they don't have a mech phase, so he can't move. So there you go. Yeah, there's no air. Let's take a look real quick. Hopefully I haven't paused this or anything. It's still going. Yep, and we're going to call it here in a second, so it's not too long. Yeah, next turn they get a lot of units. They appear on depots, supply. Oop, here come the KV-1s. Or T-34s, however you want to play it. And yeah, they got some units they can block. So July they've got units, August, September, it just keeps going, at least through these 3 months. They're going to be getting units, potentially delayed. So, all right, that's it. That's the end of turn 1. The Soviets do attempt to set up a line here, whether they can hold Riga or not. Germans still have to clean out these guys. They may have to do a combat first and then movement later. And then the mech units can attack, so that it doesn't look like the Germans are going to get past the Dvina next turn, but may give them a chance to build out their supply systems here. So it may not be as bad if the Soviets can fortify here. They don't have anybody defending down here, but technically there's 2 zones of controls here, so and that's going through woods, so they may be okay for now. Okay, so there we go. End of the Soviet turn there. End of turn 1. Next recording, we will start the 2nd week. Well, we'll start the month of July. Start the month of July, and we'll look real quick here for German reinforcements. Do they not have any in July? There it is, July. Okay, they get some units there. Well, they get more air power. That's the big one. And again, and then it looks, yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Infantry divisions. They even get railroad artillery. It's pretty wild. 3 TAC units. And now they could do air supply and or airborne. So, anyway, thanks for listening, and we will see you at the next one.